Hey, business building warrior. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio, the podcast, as you probably know, that features hundreds of interviews with very real people with very raw stories talking about their journey from, in most cases, never had any success online to building beautiful businesses. And today, I just finished up an episode. I'm recording the introduction now, talking to you. That was very moving, very rewarding for me to be a part of. And I love all the episodes that we do. But today's a very special one, and I think you'll figure out why as we go. You're going to meet Brandon and Bonnie. They've been in our community for several months now. They were part of our recent event, and they came and they attended that event with us, our conference in Florida. They've sold about $100,000 now. He was laid off from his job and went full-time into e-commerce with his wife. They made the leap, and just the realness of their story, I think you're going to find very compelling. They started with just $150 for inventory. That's it. $150. And they followed our programs. I'll put links to the tools and resources that they mentioned today. They got into coaching, and they just speak with such high regard to the entire experience. I'm grateful that God sends us people like this to serve, and it's a pleasure serving them. And I think you're going to be inspired and encouraged by their story. And if you find yourself thinking, hey, I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more of how I might make some things like this happen in our life with you and your family, hey, give us a call. You can text us or call us anytime. There's phone numbers at silentjimdotcom/book a call, or go to silentjim.com, click on coaching, and you'll see a page that has our phone number. You can text us, or you can schedule a time where you can have a free half-hour consultation with either me or someone on our team to talk to you about your business, where you are now. Maybe you're new and clueless, but where you're trying to get. Let's put down a game plan to make that happen. We'd love to have another story like the one you're about to hear. And we've got hundreds of them. If you scroll back in time on this show, it's just such a pleasure to be able to, again, to see families doing life and business together and thriving as a result, and even getting closer to God, which is a big part of the story today. That I told them they could talk about whatever they wanted on their journey, and that's what they were excited to share. So we absolutely are excited to bring it to you. So enjoy this time with Brandon and Bonnie Ship. You're going to love their story. Let's go. So Brandon and Bonnie, welcome to the episode. Good to have you guys here.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much for joining me. And I love doing these interviews, and I love especially seeing couples doing it together. Those are always it's really fun for me to do these. So I'm excited to get into it if you guys are ready to get started.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Brandon, we'll start with you, and why don't you tell us a little bit of your story?
So we started really a couple of years ago. Bonnie and her daughter tried some e-commerce, but they went TikTok route. Tried to do some drop shipping, and didn't really work out so much. They paid somebody
TikTok drop shipping. There's a classic.
Yeah.
Paid somebody a bunch of money and hoping to make something happen, and it didn't work out, as those things we learned usually don't. And then I was working in chemical plants at the time, and one of my shift supervisors started an Amazon store. He started it in January of 2023. And in August, he was putting his 2 weeks in, and I started picking his brain, like, how did you do this?
So during the 2 weeks when he put in his notice, you got real interested.
Very interested, yeah, because he kept it quiet all the way up until that point. He put those 2 weeks in. Yeah, I started picking his brain as much as possible. And then I started talking to some other people. I've got some other friends that are coaches in other businesses. And one of them put a Facebook post out and said, hey, for those of you who are looking for business, like, what are you looking for? And so I commented on there, and someone actually responded and gave me a couple of names and gave me the Silent Team group.
Referred you to us. Gotcha.
Referred me to that group. And
thank you, stranger.
I jumped in there, and it was just one thing after. I mean, it was really, really eye-opening how people were actually doing this, and it made it a lot easier than it seemed. It was a lot easier than I originally thought it would be.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating till you get in there and see real people doing it and breaking it down. Yeah,
Yeah, seeing the
it's not a
story.
complex business model by any means.
No, not at all. I got into a Kickstart group around June of last year, but I was still working at the time. And so I really didn't have a lot of time. I was working a lot of 12-hour shifts. So I ended up not really doing much in the Kickstart group. But then I had knee surgery and I was going to be out for 6 months. So then I went just head first, dove into the Proven Amazon course, followed those teachings, started interacting a lot more with the group. And I only started out with $150 for inventory, but we just kind of kept rolling everything right back in. Every little profit we made rolled right back in.
Wow.
And I mean, we just hit our 12-month mark at the beginning of September, $100,000.
Nice. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
I want to hear from Bonnie. I'm thinking she's probably got a list of things like, oh, you forgot to say this. You didn't list this. Like, I want to hear the same story from your perspective, Bonnie, and what have we not hit so far that we should have, and then we'll proceed.
That's pretty much how it went. Ran it about 4 or 5 years ago. My daughter and I wanted to do Amazon.
Yeah.
Brandon shot us down.
Oh, no. See, that's what he left out. I knew there was something.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was like,
great.
that is a waste. There's no way. So we just blew it off.
Yeah.
And so then when he was out for surgery, just kind of was like, I'm going to start the Amazon. And I'm like, okay, fine. Well, took his boss mentioning it for him to finally listen.
Nice.
So we would probably be even further along now, but
That's great. That's funny. You know, in your defense, Brandon, there are so many just scams and bad ideas and people saying negative things, and it's hard to know what's viable and what isn't, you know?
And that's everything I had seen was, hey, pay us a whole bunch of money and we're going to teach you. And I was like, that is way too much money to risk.
Yeah. Yeah. And I completely agree. Yeah. That's why I love my favorite part of the podcast episode so far that I think is going to really encourage people is the fact that you started with $150 for inventory.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an expensive business to start. And until you discovered that fact, it was understandably intimidating, right? But yeah, I love it, Bonnie. Please keep going. Didn't mean to interrupt you there.
well, that was it. I mean, especially since I lost all that money doing TikTok and Shopify. So that didn't help.
Yeah.
But really that was it. I mean, he was out for knee surgery, and then my daughter had knee surgery right after him. So I was dealing with her. So he was just hanging out, messing around in like the Amazon group. And it just kind of took off, really. Like,
Yeah,
he picked up on it pretty well. I was surprised, to be honest. But
Yeah.
then he got laid off in
the very end of February, I got laid off.
February.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Were you kind of anticipating that as a possibility when you got into this, or did
I
it?
kind of did, but that wasn't why I got into it. I got into it because I was working 12-hour shifts, overtime all the time. And I was just like, I was never home.
Yeah.
There was one stint where I worked 23 out of 24 days and I was so tired. And I really just needed to find something else.
Wow.
And Bonnie spends money, so I got to find something that makes a lot of money.
Well,
Right.
yeah. So when he got let go, that was kind of our like, well, now we have to really push this.
And we really pushed. I think from April to March, we doubled from. I think we did 5,800 in April. We did a little over 12,000 in March. Then we hit 14,000. Amazon started gating and stuff. So we kind of stayed at 14,000 for a little while we continued to build our catalog outside of the stuff that we were losing. And August, we did 23,000, hit our 100,000 mark at September 2nd. We're super excited. Q4 is going to be a blowout. We're really excited.
Oh, that's so great. I'm thrilled for you guys. I love it. So what types of stuff are you selling? How are you finding it? What tools are you using? Talk me through your processes a little bit.
Okay. So a lot of when we first started, a lot of it was, because I just started with $150 inventory. It was going to the store and just scanning items with the Amazon seller app, and then checking them on Kiva, checking charts. Now we did evergreen sourcing with Jimmy. That was fantastic. So now I use some of that. I've been using 3P Mercury with Kang and going through, learning how to source from him. And that's been fantastic. Probably the video that really set our business off. Jimmy has one. It's in the pack course, but it's called, Sell to
Buy local.
Buy local, sell to the world. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the modules inside the pack for newer sellers who aren't maybe necessarily very well funded yet. Just some ideas on some quick flip stuff to get the ball rolling. Yeah.
And that really did it. Because back then I was still trying, like I was struggling, and I watched that video. It kind of blew my mind, really opened it up. And so I stopped trying to look for all the little, and I just started going local, and we did really well local, and now we started expanding more into online as well. So
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
we're about 50-50 OARA at this point.
Okay. So you're still doing some local shopping, pulling stuff off shelves and stores around you. That's RA, retail arbitrage, for those who don't know. And then online as well, kind of a half and half mix. Very good. And you've dove into 3P Mercury, which is super smart. I'm so excited. I had a long call yesterday with Kang about the new features that are coming, and it's going to be, we're not far from having a machine, basically a software tool that thinks about your ASINs all day, every day, thinks about your products, and then helps you make really good decisions. Say, hey, here's what you should do. Here's the ones that are good. Here's the ones that you should wait. And just constantly thinking about your business and help you make more money. It's incredible.
When y'all first started talking about it, I was waiting for it to drop, and as soon as y'all opened it up, I jumped in there, and
Nice.
yeah, it's been amazing.
That's smart. So you're locked in for life at a great rate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that thing's going to be hundreds of dollars a month or more, eventually. And you'll be locked in at the same rate you're at right now as it starts to grow. Well, all right, Bonnie, anything we're leaving out so far? Anything else about what you guys are doing, how you're sourcing, tools you're using? Anything come to mind that we haven't hit?
No, I mean, I know we tried Nepeto a bit.
Yeah, we're using Nepeto for the evergreen sourcing, and that was really beneficial. We just started using tactical arbitrage a little bit, trying to look into that. Chris Beam is one of our coaches, and she's really gotten us into that and helping out with that.
Yeah. Chris loves her tools, man, and she's a foremost TA user and trainer. Great to have her on the team.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. There's so many people on the team that have been so effective, had such an effect on our lives, and not just the business aspect of it, but even our personal lives.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. I'd love to dive into that to the degree that you're comfortable, because this is all about community, and you referenced that a little bit. But so many of us see this as like second family, and we see this as ministry, and we love just speaking into people's lives and having a bigger impact than helping them make a little bit more money. So talk to me about that a little bit. Just tell that story.
So I know one of the things, like we felt God leading us to this business. I mean, pretty much from the get-go. While I was still working and I was looking into this, there were times, I know one day I was driving over a bridge, and it was icy. And so, there's a sign up that the state of Texas puts up, for icy bridges. And it said, go home. And that, when I passed it, that's all it said was go home. And I knew, I was like, this is where I don't belong at this plant. I belong at home. And
Wow. So you've heard me talk about bringing dads home before. Yeah.
I've listened to quite a few episodes, podcasts.
Okay. Because that was a core, because when that happened for me, I can still remember, Brandon, just that. And to this day, I wake up every day full of gratitude that I don't have to get up before the sun's up and go off and do what I got to do, which a lot of good dads got to do, man. And I get it. But if there's a better way and I can be home earning more money and be with my family and be available, have my dog walking through my office while I'm doing a podcast and running my business, right? Like, there's nothing that beats that.
There isn't.
So I want that for other dads. So bringing dads home is kind of this heartbeat. And our strategies work for everyone, obviously, but dad to dad, man, I get it. No, I know what that pull feels like.
Well, our marriage was struggling. I think a lot of it too, because he was working all the time. And then when he was home, he was too tired to do anything I needed him to do. Mm-hmm. So, we were struggling. And then the conference came up when we were going to go. And then it was like, well, we didn't really have the money. So then we weren't going to go. And then we got the scholarship. So we were able to go. And I think that was a huge turning point for both of us. Like, part of it, I was going into it thinking, this is just going to be kind of scammy. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. Like, we'll see. And I had also my religious beliefs at that point were kind of just not good. I had steered away for a while. So when we got there, it was like you said, it just felt like we were called there.
Mm.
It's a strange feeling for me. Like it felt like I was meant to be there. And so, then we came back, we found a church, and we've been going to church, we've been doing counseling, and then our business has been growing, and it's a weird feeling.
Man, praise God. That's all I can sit here and think. I love it. I could listen to that all day, because that's what we're all about here, is not just helping you make more money, but applying biblical truth to all areas of your life has blessings and benefits far beyond just putting a little extra money in the bank. That doesn't, that makes putting money in the bank reduces a lot of your problems to a check you have to write, but it doesn't fix relationships. It doesn't fix your health. It doesn't fix your attitude. It doesn't fix, your kids drifting away from you. It doesn't fix those things. That takes more. And we wanted to build a community where we address the more, and not just the business, but those other things. And so you can find those friends. And I just love hearing you describe that, Bonnie, that you felt at home in this community. It's by design. We want that here. A lot of people say it feels like, the best church service of the year, once a year when they come to our conference. And even though it's a lot of education and training, we kind of put at the beginning and at the end, it's a very unapologetically, a Christ-centered event for those who want to participate in that part of it. And, I love hearing stories like yours come out of it.
Let me just add to that too. We went to the first 2 sessions we went to was your wife's, Andrea's, and Larry and Sue's, Richard. And I'm 100% believe it saved our marriage.
Wow.
That night, that Thursday night, Bonnie and I had never spoken to each other about God. That was the first conversation we ever had about God.
Wow.
And it really, and so, I knew it wasn't a one-time fix. So when Larry and Sue came up with their side-by-side business, they contacted us about joining it and, about growing your marriage and your business at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, absolutely, we've got to get into it. We started talking to Kang a little bit on 3P, and he goes to a church near us.
Yeah, he lives nearby.
Yep. So we started going to Bible study with him.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I probably did know that, but it's a big enough community. But that's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys are down there in the heat of Houston then, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've really felt Christ really moving in our marriage and our lives.
That's amazing. Hey, pardon the interruption for just a moment, but I've got to thank our sponsor, Seller Board. How do you know if you're making money online as a reseller? Seller Central will show you your revenue, but it doesn't capture all the details, the refunds, the shifting fees, changing supplier prices, overhead. Well, that's why a lot of smart sellers are using Seller Board. silentjim.com/numbers is where you can go to check them out. It's the profit analytics software that's built to keep your numbers straight. Seller Board reconciles every sale and expense in real time. And with FIFO accounting, first in, first out, that means your profit reports stay accurate even when your cost of goods change from batch to batch. It now works with Walmart as well, so you can see your margins across both platforms all in one place. Here's the game changer as well for resellers. Seller Board's new reseller workflow scans products in the store with the mobile app instantly. You can check out your profit potential, add items to your buy list, build offers, print labels, manage inbound FBA shipments, all while Seller Board keeps the profit tracking accurate at every step. For just $15 a month and 2 months free trial, go to Seller Board's website here, silentjim.com/numbers. It's the only way to get the 2 months free, silentjim.com/numbers. There'll be a link in the show notes as well. Understand your numbers today with Seller Board, the accurate profit analytics software. Let's get back to today's episode.
Yeah.
You guys are down there in the heat of Houston then, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've really felt Christ really moving in our marriage and our lives.
That's amazing.
Since, all the way leading up to us joining the group, all the way through this. And he's still working.
Well, absolutely. And since you mentioned Kang, I just want to give the listeners a reference point here. Go back and listen to episode 754 if you haven't, because King has a story not unsimilar to yours from my vantage point. He's like, God was on a shelf somewhere in his back room, maybe to pull down occasionally, but it wasn't anything he ever thought about.
Right.
Until he got smacked with a circumstance. I'll let people go listen to it, episode 754.
That's one of our favorite ones too.
Yeah, I call it my all-time favorite episode of all. But anytime we kind of drift into this, very real talk, these are the episodes that are having the impact that I want this organization to have. Ultimately, I call it the kingdom impact. Right? That's what we're trying to do here. Is the kingdom impact.
In 2004, I was engaged and he passed away, and that's when I think I got angry. And so, I've been away from really church for a good 20 years.
Wow.
So for me, it's a big deal because I was pretty just angry against all of that. It all felt like a business and just kind of fake to me.
Yeah.
But so when we went to the conference, it was just a strange feeling. Like I felt lighter. I just felt touched. And then I was concerned, especially with all the people who were really making it at Amazon, everyone was just normal. Nobody was snooty or, didn't really want to talk to you.
Yeah, we scare those people away.
Yeah.
Everybody just was friendly and welcoming. And it was a huge turning point for, us and for our business. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Getting to talk to yourself, Nathan, Jimmy, it was all just very humbling experience. And I can't say enough about it. We definitely won't miss it, the conference ever.
Yeah.
Well, if I've developed a bit of a gift, maybe it's just recognizing patterns. I don't know, but I can see it from a mile away now when someone's on a leadership journey. And most of us are, and a lot of people will never embrace it. But you guys are clearly on a leadership journey. Maybe it's in this community. I would like to think and hope and pray that it will be. But whatever it is that you guys are heading towards from here, you're going to be taking other people with you because your story is powerful. And I could do this for 3 hours, but it's an e-commerce podcast and I have to, at least tip my hat in that direction, during the episode as much as possible and give people, practical e-commerce business insights. But the journey you guys are on as a couple, as parents, as entrepreneurs, as people who are figuring out how to go against our culture and make more money than they could out there from home, there's going to be a lot of people that are intrigued by that. And you're going to have the ability to influence and speak to their hearts. And the game has just begun for you guys. And I'm so excited to see how it plays out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
I hope we do get the opportunity to at least share our story and let people know that there's bigger things out there,
Yeah. Well, you're doing it right now. And we'll stick a link to Larry and Sue's, building together. They've got a great ministry that was kind of born out of this community as well. Mm-hmm. Right. I interviewed them on the podcast when they kicked that off, but I'll stick a link to their stuff in the notes too, if people want to investigate that, because doing life and business together can be such an incredible blessing to your marriage. It puts you through, you're fighting through some of the negative and hard parts, and you're better off for it at the end because you've conquered this mountain together. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of seeing that. Not everyone does the business together. Like Andrea and I, I'm sure in her session, she mentioned she doesn't do a lot with the business, but she does help me out with the big decisions and the players involved and the people who want to come alongside and partner with us. She can see through people so quick. She's got such a gift from the Lord that she is like, yeah, you don't want to work with that guy. And it turns out she's right every time. It's crazy. So we are doing it together, even though she's not in the day-to-day, numbers and details. But yeah, I love it. Well, anything else you guys want to share about that part of your journey? Anything you were hoping to share about the impact of, that God's had basically on your marriage? And
there's really not enough I can say. We're still in our infancy of this impact. And the where it's going is mind blowing to me. I have no idea where it's going, but it's definitely going to be something amazing.
I told him the other day, I was baptized when I was little, but I think I'm going to get baptized again here in the next few months, just because I just feel like a yearning to. So I know it's just been huge. It's weird.
Yeah, no,
I couldn't be more proud.
That's beautiful. It's like your spirit comes awake. And when you can get all these parts of your life into alignment, as my mentor, Rabbi Lapin, talks about faith, family, fitness, friends, finance. When you start heading in the right direction and all those at once, it just kind of sounds like what you guys have done, right?
Yeah.
Life is a completely different color. The world kind of comes alive for you, right? And I'm just excited for the journey that you guys are on. Can't wait to see where you guys are 6 months, a year. If you guys were a stock, I'm buying as much as I can get. Like, I love this. I love when I can say that about our students and people who are on this journey with us. But all right, well, let's swing it back to business. You've told pretty much most, if not all, of your story at this point, but I'm just curious, is there anything else? Like, maybe what would you say to someone who's considering this business model?
I would definitely say there's going to be some times where you feel like everything's going to fall apart. You and I have had conversations about that when I felt that way. But definitely don't be afraid to reach out to somebody in the community, because they'll let you know, hey, it's going to be okay. You just have to keep pushing through it. There's been a few times where I felt that way, where I felt like, when Amazon starts doing the gating or they start doing high price deactivations, I'm like, my business is exploding, but it's not. It's really not. It's just a matter of fighting through it. That's what's going to make, how you're going to be successful is if you keep pushing through the hard times. And that's really the main thing I would say is you're going to have those negative feelings. You're going to feel like everything's going terrible. Reach out to somebody, talk to them about what you're going through. I promise you they've been through it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to tell you, just keep going. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Some advice to change a couple of things, but yep, exactly.
We had some mugs made up. For those who are listening, I'm holding up a mug that says, keep calm and test more ASINs. Keep finding more ASINs, right? That's the solution every time. It's like, oh no, I lost this product. Oh, I can't sell this anymore. Oh no, Amazon's put a price restriction. Go find more ASINs and dump them into 3P Mercury. That's the solution that we're saying. Like, just keep dumping them in there and let the software tell you which ones look good today.
Yep, exactly. I think we've got over 800 ASINs now.
Oh, good for
all
you.
It is. It's just about going, like you said, 1/4 inch wide, 8 miles deep.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yep. I love it.
I have to come back through and be the voice of reason whenever he gets in his little doom and gloom attitude. And I'm like, seriously? Like, it's okay. It's just one. Like, we have others. But I think also, like, the pack.
Andrea does that for me too, buddy. I get it, man. She's like, come on down from that, gloomy, come out of that gloomy pit, buddy. It's okay.
Yeah. Sometimes he needs it. But then also, I think the pack course, like, I think that's huge. I think people need to invest in it and follow it, because I think that's really what
it will teach you everything you need to know and some. I don't think I'll ever get through all the modules, but it is definitely it's worth, like you said multiple times, it's worth way more than what y'all are charging. There's so much information in there.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
I think this can be doable with that, because I think that's been very helpful, and I think it keeps people from investing money and losing it.
Making mistakes.
Yeah. So I really think that helped us a lot.
It really did. Yeah.
Built our business.
Yeah. I know when I first started the pack course, I got about 1 or 2 modules in. We were driving. We just went to Walmart, and I was a week out of surgery. Still had a brace on, so I was driving a little cart through Walmart. I still have some of those products that I bought that day because didn't have enough training.
Yeah. You use your instincts and. Right. Yeah. You guess a little more than you don't have to guess at all once you understand the system. But yeah, the newbies make all kinds of fun, interesting mistakes, and we try to talk them out of that as best we can. Yeah, but sometimes that's just part of the learning process, is making a few mistakes and having those trophies to show for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll ever get rid of those. I may just keep them as a reminder.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Keep you humble.
Yeah.
But I've given away some interesting Christmas presents. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. I love your guys' story. I love what you're all about and the trajectory that you're on. Stories like yours are why we do what we do here. 100%, right? right in the sweet spot of why we do what we do here. So it's an honor for me, and it's encouraging for me to hear this story. But as we start to wrap this up, I just want to give you guys the opportunity. If there's anything on your mind that we didn't get into today, any questions, anything you were hoping to share, like if you got any tips for others, stuff like that, I'd love to just hear from your heart if you got anything else on your mind, either one of you.
I mean, I know I definitely want to reiterate that we would not be sitting here next to each other if it wasn't for you and the rest of the group. It would not, the conference, we would not be sitting here next to each other, I don't think.
Well, we definitely wouldn't be working together. We may still be sitting next to each other, but it wouldn't be.
We wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, we wouldn't be happy. I don't know if we would have been working together.
Well,
But I think too,
that's incredible.
if you're in like a couple doing this, try to not diminish what the other person is doing. Because there was a time when I felt like he was kind of claiming everything, and I just I'm not your assistant. This is my business too.
Learning to work together, and that's where Larry and Sue have been helpful, I bet.
Yeah.
They've been very helpful in that.
So that was a little issue in the beginning, but we've kind of conquered that.
Yeah.
I think Brandon knows I run things now.
Yeah.
So.
He knows who's in charge now. It's like every smart man.
Yeah.
I love it. One of the things that pops into my head, my mentor, and I've tried to ingrain this in as I've talked to especially couples who are doing the business together, anytime with family or anyone that you love, trust, and respect, right? Business, by God's design, is supposed to be a relationship enhancing adventure. If it's not enhancing the relationships at every point, you're doing it wrong. That's the litmus test, actually, for a good business. Yes, it has to be profitable, or it shuts down and it's not a business anymore. But if you're doing business the right way, it's enhancing relationships at every step, especially if you're the couple at the core, right? That doesn't mean you're always winning together, because we all know that sometimes the greatest bonding experience you'll ever go through is when you lose big. Like my wife and I went through a house fire, a total loss in 2017. That's not a win. That's a loss. But the measure of its impact on our marriage ultimately was the lens we choose to see the event through, not all the stuff we lost and the settlement check that was nowhere near big enough to cover what we felt like we lost. We lost together, but we got closer as a result of that loss. So it was a win in the end, ultimately, which is hard to see sometimes when you're in the middle of the storm. But ultimately, if it brings you closer, and that's what I see happening here with you guys, it's not all rainbows and cherries and sunshine and fun, but it is pretty great.
Yeah.
And on the other side of some of these things you've had to work through, you guys are closer as a result. You're sitting on a podcast and having fun together, talking about your story, as opposed to, where else, who knows where you might be. I just love that.
And I mean, the closer we'd each come to Christ, the closer we come together too. So
yeah, the old triangle analogy, right? You've seen that. Right?
Exactly. And it's 100% true.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, we've been able to get through struggles a lot easier these days than we did in the past.
Yeah, we're not so much fighting each other.
Exactly.
You've got a common enemy that you're conquering together.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, that's just beautiful. I don't think you guys have any idea. I mean, I could talk all day as passionately and as eloquently as I could to try to convey what you guys have spoken into the hearts of people, and I could never do it. There's no words. Just you being here, the things you shared, the realness and the transparency of your story, which I'm grateful that you guys were willing to do today. I think it's going to have a huge impact on some people. You'll be making some new friends as a result of this. I can almost guarantee you. People are going to pass this one around and say, hey, ignore all the business stuff. Check out this couple doing it together. This is so cool, the dynamic, right? But this is a business podcast, so I'll swing it back in that direction as we wrap it up. But man, it was so good hanging out with you guys today. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was, we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Brandon and Bonnie, man, if I can do anything for you, I'm saying it publicly, please reach out. I'm here for you guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to talk to the listeners for just a second who hung out with us for this episode today. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? And I've got some good news for you. They're not all this awesome, but we've got a whole bunch of awesome episodes that you can check out. I've done this hundreds of times now, interviewing students who've come through our coaching and our trainings and just said, hey, tell me your story. And they share it. And that's what we did today. But if you want to hear a whole bunch more, just scroll back in time. You'll hear them. And we'd love to be part of inspiring and encouraging you to do whatever it is that you're capable of to begin creating income streams and maybe even shoring up the relationships in your life as you do it, bringing in friends, family, doing it together. That's what we do here. So God bless you, business building warriors who listened to this episode today. We have many more good episodes on the way to you, and we'll bring those to you very soon. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for joining us today. I've got one last announcement. It's a thank you to our sponsor today, Seller Board. You can find them at silentjimdotcom/numbers. Hey, seller, if you want to know your true profits, Seller Board tracks every fee, refund, the shifting cost of goods, plus a full reseller workflow. Everything from scanning in store to shipping your FBA shipments. Pricing starts as little as $15. And if you use the link I gave you, you get 2 months of a free trial. Get started at silentjim.com/numbers. Thanks for listening today. We'll have another great episode for you very soon.